Free Capitol Hill has put up a piece over at medium.com. They say, in credit to the people who freed Capitol Hill, this list of demands is neither brief nor simplistic. There is no simple request to end police brutality. We demand that the city council and the mayor, whoever that may be, implement these policy changes for the cultural and historic advancement of the city of Seattle and to ease the struggles of its people. This document is to represent the Black voices who spoke in victory at the top of 12th and Pine after 9 days of peaceful protest while under constant nightly attack from the Seattle Police Department. Well, actually, it wasn't constant nightly attack from the Seattle Police Department. Some of these protesters were getting very violent with police. So here are their demands. They want abolition of the Seattle Police Department and the court system. Abolition of it. They deliberately say, we do not request reform. We demand abolition. We demand the defunding and abolition of the Seattle Police Department and the attached criminal justice apparatus. That means 100% of funding, including existing pensions for Seattle police. Also, we want to disallow the operations of ICE in the city of Seattle. We demand that the use of armed force be banned entirely. No guns, no batons, no riot shields, no chemical weapons. We demand an end to the school-to-prison pipeline and the abolition of youth jails. Get kids out of prison and get cops out of schools. We demand that the new youth prison being built in Seattle currently be repurposed. We demand that not the city government nor the state government, but that the federal government launch a full-scale investigation into past and current cases of police brutality in Seattle and Washington, as well as the reopening of all closed cases reported to the Office of Police Accountability. We demand reparations for victims of police brutality in a form to be determined, so they're not actually going to explain what they mean by that. We demand that the city of Seattle make the names of officers involved in police brutality a matter of public record. We demand a retrial of all people of color currently serving a prison sentence for violent crime by a jury of their peers in the community. So presumably this means that if you are a Black person who committed a crime and now you're in jail, they want you retried, but only if you're Black and only by a Black jury. We demand decriminalization of the acts of protest and amnesty for protesters generally, but specifically those involved in what has been termed the George Floyd Rebellion against the terrorist cell that previously occupied this area known as the Seattle Police Department. This includes the immediate release of all protesters currently being held in prison after the arrest made at 11th and Pine on Sunday night. We demand that the city of Seattle and state government release any prisoner currently serving time for a marijuana-related offense. We demand that they release any prisoner serving time just for resisting arrest. We demand that prisoners serving time be given full and unrestricted right to vote. We demand an end to prosecutorial immunity for police officers. We demand abolition of all imprisonment. All imprisonment, not just, so they start with youth imprisonment, and then they're like, you know what? As this goes on, I have a second thought. All imprisonment should end. No more prisons. We demand that the Seattle Police Department empty its lost and found and return property owned by denizens of the city. We demand that all the body cameras be turned on and all body camera footage be made available to the public. And they want free public housing. They also would like degentrification of Seattle, starting with rent control. They want free college for everybody in the state of Washington. They want hospitals and care facilities in Seattle to employ Black doctors and nurses specifically to help care for Black patients. Because I know that if I were having a heart attack, first thing I would think is, I need a Jewish doctor right now. So they want resegregation of hospitals, which is a fascinating demand. We demand the people of Seattle seek out and proudly support Black-owned businesses. So we have to subsidize specifically Black-owned businesses. And we demand that the city of Seattle and state of Washington remove any and all monuments dedicated to historical figures of the Confederacy, et cetera, et cetera. So, well done, everybody. These are the people to whom you are catering. Just very, very solid stuff. Giving them toilets, giving them garbage cans. They've taken over the city, and it's turning into a bleep show immediately, as you would predict. As you would predict. You know, there may come a point here where Americans are out, where it turns out that the semantic overload that is associated with the phrase Black Lives Matter, if it includes nonsense like this, people are going to be like, you know what? I'm out, man. I'm out. Of course I believe Black Lives Matter because, duh, this is perfectly obvious. But if you're suggesting that I am supposed to buy into this nonsense, I'm going to go no on that. But we may not have hit that point yet because white liberals have to demonstrate how guilty they feel. See, this is all virtue signaling. This is all virtue signaling. They have to demonstrate that they are actually okay with rioting and looting. Otherwise, they're demonstrating their own white privilege. I hope you enjoyed that clip from The Ben Shapiro Show. If you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you stay up to date on all of our future content.